In the last lecture, you completed the first 3 steps of our 8 steps to really create an optimized Facebook page. Now in this lecture, we're looking at really how to create a Facebook icon and upload it. So what I'm going to do is show you some tools to really make one, show you some examples here, to really discuss the best practices. So really the Facebook icon is what's going in here on a normal Facebook page. This is a profile picture. So really what you want to put here is a simple logo or a symbolic representation of your business. The optimal size is going to be 540 by 540 pixels. And what I recommend that you use to make this icon is really to come into canva.com. We've looked at this tool before. You can see that I use it to make all my artwork for this course, and you can really come up here to click use custom dimensions. They've also got Facebook cover templates, which I'm going to be showing you in the next lecture. So let's click on use custom dimensions. We're going to go 540 by 540 and we're going to click design here. So now you can see that we have the canvas in order to make our Facebook icon. But before we start to do that, let's look at some of the best practices. How do you actually make a Facebook icon and what you should really be putting in that? So as I've said here, I think it should be a simple logo or symbolic representation of your business. And I've got a couple of examples here to show you. So here we go. We've got a restaurant here in Dublin. A friend of mine owns it, a steak restaurant in Dublin. So if you're ever here, maybe check it out, Featherblade. But you can see that this is just a very simple logo. It's just the first letter of their business, essentially. A little bit stylized. It's just black, white on black. So it's very simple, just 2 colors, 1 letter. Very, very simple. Now let's look at another example here. LATAM Airlines. This is just an airline. You can see again just 2 or 3 colors, very simple and easy to see. You can see also how the cover photo, we're going to be looking at that next, really fits in and explains a little bit more what their business is about. As well here in this, you can see that the cover photo is kind of the doorway into the building. Now, if you don't have a logo, what can you do? Well, here's another example. This is a Facebook page for a daily podcast. And you can see here that instead of putting in a logo, he's just kind of put in a photo for himself. This is actually his Snapchat icon here. So obviously this guy wants to really get people over to Snapchat. But you can see that because he's kind of the lead person in the business, he's the daily podcaster, he's just put a picture of himself there. So you don't need to maybe put the Snapchat image in there. But even a picture of yourself, if you're the face of the business, you basically are the business, you could put yourself in there instead of a logo. Now, what are the things that you shouldn't do? I've said to keep it simple, just a couple of colors. You can use a simple logo or even maybe just a picture of yourself if you're really the business itself. A couple of things you might not want to do is fill this up with too much text. Here's an example. This is a travel agency company. They have a very simple logo here, but you can see that they put in the phone number and a web address here at the bottom. Now you might think that looks like that's a great idea because it can get people to the site. But what you have to remember is this image will be shrunk down very, very small. So if you do a search for this company, you can see that when they make posts, you can't read that at all, and it almost takes away from the profile itself. So just remember that this icon will be shrunk down to something this size whenever it appears in someone's news feed. So you want to make it as simple as possible. You can see that I can't really read what that says. I can see Abbey Travel here. The name comes up, so maybe there isn't a need to repeat it. But you can see that it becomes harder to read once it's shrunk down. So just remember that it will be shrunk down to this side. That's why something very, very simple like this is probably a good idea. And in order to get it done, you can use canva.com to really create this. There's a lot of text and stuff you can play around with. So if you've never created an icon, this is a place that you can do it. So here we go now. I have created my icon. This is just the little symbol that I use in the corner of my slides. So I'm just going to use this again for Facebook. And what I can do is when I've got that set up, I can just click download. You want to select the JPEG image because this is really for the web. It's a smaller image in terms of that it won't take a long time to load up, etc. So I am just going to download this now and really then just re-upload it to Facebook. So there it is. I'm just going to move it to my desktop. I maybe want to call it my business name, so let's just say Facebook icon. Now I'm going to go back into Facebook. I'll have to go back to my page. So I'll come back to Facebook here, open up my page. You can see that you can find it here under your favorites. Come to add photo, upload photo. Come to my desktop and you can see there it is. So there you can see it's uploaded now. I think it looks pretty good. Easy to recognize, and the great thing is that you can change this anytime. This isn't set in stone, but you do need to just get something up there so that you can really launch your Facebook page. So go ahead and go into canva.com, create a custom dimension canvas 540 by 540. Keep in mind, try and keep it as simple as possible. Remember that this image is going to be shrunk down a lot, so you really want to make sure that it's going to be readable. And if you can't come up with an icon, just use a picture of yourself for the moment if you are the kind of face of the business. That wraps up how to complete your Facebook icon step by step and all the best practices. In the next lecture, we're going to be looking at the Facebook cover photo. This is really this part here. This is prime real estate, so I'm going to show you how to get that set up in the next lecture.